Okay, this time, and Hassan does not know what my question is. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for my question?
Sure.
Okay, so do I need to give you some ground rules?
I'm gonna break them.
So if I give you some rules,
You wasting your breath. I'm gonna break them.
why? Hassan, if I give you some,
I might feel like
if I give you some ground rules, you can't break them.
then don't give them.
I mean, I gotta speak to my sister. Hi, Carrie.
Hey, Carrie.
It's my sister. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you after this, okay?
That she can get out of my way right here.
Anyway, the rules are: one, you have to watch your mouth. Two, watch your. You know what I'm talking about, Hassan. Monitor your word choice. Okay. Two, be honest and clear. And three, when you say something, elaborate on it so that the people will understand. Those are your rules. Got it?
Yeah.
You got Now I can't get a hug. I can't get a hug.
It's too much. It's too much.
Look, Rashid said, yes, break the rule. Why I can't get a hug?
I'm hugging you. I'm trying to get ready for your rules. You know,
the rules.
I gotta get ready for your rules.
Okay, so you got the ground rules. All right, so this is the question, and I want you. You know what? It's gonna be a man night.
Bruh.
Which means it puts us at risk, ladies.
Risk.
Okay, but I got you.
I'm good.
What advice can you give the ladies or recommendations to be better in their relationships?
Follow instructions.
Hassan, come on, man. Okay, what does that mean, follow instructions?
Your man is asking you to do something.
Okay. You gotta speak up.
Okay. Your man is asking you to do something.
Okay.
Do what he asks you to do.
Okay, but Hassan, that sounds like so barbaric. Come on.
Now, okay, but see, I'm saying, why gotta be barbaric? Why when a man asks a woman to just follow the instructions, it gotta be barbaric? Why it just can't be simple? It said, okay, babe, now, I didn't say you can't ask a question.
Okay, because you know that there are people who are listening. And I'm going to go in. You know that there are people who literally take Islamic scholarly information and will flip it. And you know you cannot put that out there like that and for someone not to use it.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, I mean, come on. We have to be adults too. You have to be able to think. Because I said follow instructions, if you're going to follow instructions, sometimes you have to ask a question to get clarity about the instruction. That's okay to do that. But when you just not going to do what your husband asked you to do, and you ain't asked a question, you ain't trying to find out how I can do it, if I'm even capable of doing it, or whatever the case may be, then that's a problem for me.
Okay, so what does she do when she's not capable of doing it?
Let her know I'm not capable of doing it. I don't know if I can do that. I'm not going to do that well. I may not do that to your satisfaction.
Okay, well, that's when men start throwing out the thing about you just don't want to listen to a man. You just being disobedient.
Not when she just sit there. How are you going to be disobedient when you just sit there and told her? I mean, this is when this thing get into argumentation at this point. What I'm saying is, if she hears what it is that he is asking, and she asks a question,
okay,
all right. Now, if she's not capable of doing it, then she just simply say, brother, I'm not capable of doing that. I don't have the capacity to do that. I don't believe I'm gonna do it right. I don't believe I can do that right because I don't believe I have the capabilities of doing that.
Okay.
And if she has those type of limitations, it is what it is. You don't have to be rolling your head or going through all these changes or whatever the case may be. Just simply say, I don't know if I can do that.
Okay, so what does a man do when he hears that?
Okay, then he can take that into consideration. Okay, she may not be able to do it, but I may need her to do something in this life. Well, let me break this down into pieces.
And what does break it down into pieces?
Maybe she may not be able to fulfill the whole thing, but she might can do parts of it.
Okay, so this is when you throw out the whole blanket follow instructions, but what you mean is find out what it is. One, know what your request is. Two, find out, whether or not she's willing to do it. Three, then if she's not, see what it is that she's capable of doing based on what it is that you need.
And then give her the instruction.
And then, okay, after you revise the request.
Right. I mean, but see, here's what people have to get into the understanding of knowing how to meet each other in the middle. And that's the thing, I can't do that. Well, what can you do? And have that whole thing, instead of somebody being, maybe you can't do the whole thing. There's plenty of things that I can't do. And somebody asks me, no, I don't know if I can do that. You know what I mean? I can't do that. And so I know what my limitations might be, but I can do this right here, right? And now that ain't what I asked for, but I mean, isn't that a part of it? Or I'm not going to go through the back and forth of even trying to convince you after I told you I can't do it, and I try to tell you what I can do, and you don't want it, then, it is what it is. I'm saying to a sister, even in the same light, you don't have to be in a situation, and it is not disobedience if you're telling somebody that you're not capable of doing something. That's not disobedience. That's just limitations.
Right. Now, see, let's take into consideration and be clear. He is talking about people with a healthy relationship.
Well, I mean, our relationship's supposed to be moving towards being healthy. That's what we're talking about. People trying to be healthy. That's the point. Now, if a person is sitting there talking about, well, you got this and you doing this and you doing that, you've been having problems.
Well, that's true. It didn't just start.
It just didn't start with that request.
With this request, that's true.
You
And but the other thing is that with this scenario that you just came up with, and about how to actually do it, that is such a big issue where we see people are not equipped or have that skill set on both sides.
Well, and I think that's part of, we get into something a little different now than your initial question that you asked me. But if I follow that line and say this, that's because most people are not taught how to be in a relationship or how to have interpersonal relationships that are meaningful. Most people are not taught that.
Okay. All right.
And so most people they don't get outside of themselves as far as the selfishness is concerned.
Okay. And so that's advice for everybody.
Right, that's advice for everybody, man or woman. I don't care who you are. We all have some issues when it comes to relationship because we deal with a lot of things from a selfish perspective.
Okay. All right. Next question.
Okay.
What can women do to better say what it is that they want to a man? And I deliberately removed the word communicate. Because our definition of communicate, people say, well, a lot of communication gets messed up because of miscommunication. Mm-hmm. And a lot of communication is nonverbal. Slamming doors is communication. The silent treatment is communication. Mm-hmm. So I want to be very specific about saying that this is something that a woman says. Mm-hmm. What is it that she can say to convey her thoughts and feelings to a man, or how?
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna say what can she say. I think it's about the delivery.
Okay.
More so than anything else. If you coming at a man hot, mm-hmm. He can't hear you. He ain't hearing that.
What's hot?
You're arguing and heated with the emotions and
do the emotion again.
The head thing, So
you've never seen that head thing before.
I can't see it now, But I done seen that head thing before. You know what I mean? And so, when women come at a man hot,
Mm-hmm.
he can't deal with those emotions like that.
Okay, so but what is she supposed to do in the intensity of a disagreement?
I mean, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to disagree. And before it gets at fever pitch,
Mm-hmm.
somebody really needs to back off of it.
Okay, so again, that's advice for both of them.
Right.
So somebody needs to fall back.
Right. Somebody needs to back off of it and come back at it at another time, or try it again a little later and figure out another strategy on how I'm going to say this to you. Part of the thing is, and we have plenty of clients who sit there and say, well, I ain't got no problem with disagreeing with her. I just got the problem when she coming in aggressive and she's yelling and she's screaming and she cursing, or she's doing this and she's doing that, or whatever the case may be. I can't hear nothing she got to say at that point.
That's true. Men are gone.
Right. And so if she has something to say, like for instance, sometimes one of the things that we even learn how to do, you even talking to me, you ask me, can I listen? Yes,
that's my introduction to give him the cue that I really don't want you to say anything.
Well, not even that, but I don't want you to say anything, but I have something I need to convey to you.
I want you to listen to me and then respond. Right. And in that moment, I need to be heard.
Right. And so at that point, but then after you get going, sometimes you leave a reservation, you know what I mean? But
I leave plantation.
You know what I mean? But
I'm like a runaway slave.
We try to bring you back in. We try to bring you back. Okay, get back on. Get back, come back. And you and your million bullet points, but you don't learn how to be a little bit better than that. Because here's another thing, even in that same question, a man can't be flooded with a bunch of things either. You can't flood him, meaning you can't just keep giving point after point after point after point after issue after issue after issue after issue. Man, I ain't got time to keep hearing all about these issues. Give me 1 or 2 issues. Let me work it out.
But what if she has multiple?
Then you just come back a little later with your multiples. Because I'm not going to be able to fix all that at one time. I'm going to forget half of what you just said.
Ooh. Yeah, we're gonna be upset if you forget.
Well, but see, it's your fault. Because you had no business giving me all that in the first place.
Okay, so what she should do, but this is the problem, what you just said. So what she should do is giving it to him in pieces. But now this is the problem that the ladies are going to come against, is that she's going to come to him, let's say with topic 1 and 2, all right? And then the next day, she's going to come to him with topic 3. And he's going to say, I thought we were done with that.
No. That's not what he's going to say, because it's topic 3. That's a whole different situation. Let me work on 1 and 2. Let me start dealing with some things with 1 and 2, because I still haven't got 1 and 2 together yet.
Okay, so you're saying let's take it slow.
Right.
Let's deal with 1 and 2, and she doesn't have to do 3 the next day.
Right. The 3 ain't got to come. 3 may come a little later. Give me some time to work on 1 and 2, because see, what it's going to feel like you doing now is you constantly complaining. Everything a complaint. I mean, dang, you complaining on water. You know what I mean? That's how it's going to feel like.
Okay, but he's also going to need to take responsibility and address what it is that you said.
But now see, you sticking up for women. I'm telling you what a man is doing. All right, you sticking up for women. I'm telling you, if he has not addressed 1 and 2 already, he has to address 1 and 2.
Okay.
Right, before he can move to 3, 4, and 5, or whatever the case may be. He has to be in a position of saying, okay, this is my attempt at addressing 1 and 2.
Okay, and let him do that.
And then say, okay, I have another conversation at some point and say, hey, look, it ain't got to be, this is the continuation of the conversation we had 2 weeks ago. It don't have to be all that.
You just
these proclamations. You know, just because women, y'all do that. Y'all make all these proclamations.
What's a
And
proclamation?
you got to do these preambles to stuff and put all this, you know, make these speeches before you start talking. And that's crazy. You know, I don't man
How
want to
is
see
that
that.
crazy?
Because nobody want to hear that.
What do you want to hear?
I just wanted to, okay, look, here's, you know, can I talk to you about something?
Uh-huh.
Sure. Okay, here's an issue that I'm kind of having.
You need to speak up.
Okay, but I'm trying to talk nice because that's how I want you to talk. I want women to talk.
Oh, you giving me a script.
I'm giving it right. You know, and so I want you, I want to be able to tell you this. So here's my issue. Such and such and such and such. Don't come with, okay, remember we had that conversation a couple weeks ago? I still have some more to go with that. You get where I'm coming from?
Okay, so don't connect it.
Please don't connect it.
Even if it's connected.
Right, please don't connect it. Why is it connected?
Because it may be a continuation or another part of that issue. But you're saying don't connect it, just present it as its own, because again, you can't. You don't have to caboose it.
Right.
Just present it as its own individual issue.
Well, here's the point. Here's the point. If you got all these bullet points should be distinct, separate issues. It shouldn't be a bullet point. It's like bullet point 1, then bullet point 1A, you know, 1B, 1C, and all that type of stuff there.
Okay,
right?
But you know, what the ladies often do is give bullet point 1, and bullet point 1A is evidence for.
Okay, but then I don't have to keep on with that evidence.
Right, I'm agreeing with you. Is that they just continue to give evidence, because we have that come up in sessions. Because it's like, I really don't need for you to give me 13 different scenarios
about the same issue. You know, concise that, condense that. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, and you want to concentrate.
Right, you know, condense that.
Don't add water to it and expand it.
No, condense that.
Okay.
So and so now I know this is 1, and 2 is separate from 1. Right? That's a whole nother issue. Right? And so I'm working on 1 and 2. Now you're gonna come with issue 3, which is totally separate. Got nothing to do with 2 and 1. It has nothing to do with it, because if it has something to do with 2 and 1, then it's really evidence. It's not the issue. It's evidence.
Okay, we don't need a continuation of evidence.
Evidence, right? And so you get 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 10, if that's what you got. You see what I'm saying? You know, I'm saying deal with your core issues, but if that's the case, then you could just bring them, because more likely. He gonna give you his issues with you at some point.
Right.
You know, and so he doesn't need to do 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, 2, but it's really 1D, 1E. You see what I'm saying? He doesn't need to do that either. If that makes sense. Nobody needs to do that.
Okay.
They just need to say what it is that they have an issue with. Say, and not only that, tell a person what you would like them to do to solve it.
Right, because you can't give a complaint.
You can't give a complaint and then have no solution.
Without giving a recommendation.
And you telling somebody to figure it out ain't gonna work either.
Right, because if they could figure it out,
they would have did it already.
It would have been done already.
Exactly.
Okay, so question. I think this is number 3. And if any of you have a question, ladies, please put it in the comments, or even you can inbox it if you want it to be anonymous. So for the unmarried ladies, what is an advice that you would give them for them to better be able to change or to improve upon when they're meeting men?
I don't understand that question.
Okay, so when a lady meets a potential spouse, you know, when they're talking, they're getting to know each other. What is an error that unmarried ladies often make that and give them some advice for how they can change it.
Giving too much information about themselves without getting information from him about him.
Okay.
And especially too early.
Okay. So you're saying it's okay to give information about yourself as long as he too has given information about himself.
Right. But especially, now the demographics, the first meeting or whatever, but you going and talking about your hopes and your desires and your aspirations and all this whole type of stuff here, what your mama did to you when you were 10, and what how your grandma was, and all this whole type of stuff when you was little, and she used to give you candy and all this whole type of stuff here. Really, dudes ain't doing nothing but using that.
How do they use it?
Oh man, so your mom was, you like candy, huh? I like, I mean, smooth talking dude come up, and might slide you the Werthers. You might like, the diamond chocolate, the buttercream candy or whatever the case may be.
Butterscotch.
Yeah, he might slide that up on you. Oh, he really thinks he cares. Man, cat ain't doing no playing, He's just trying to get in. And you just gave him the tools to get in.
Oh, okay. So when you give too much too soon, you actually give someone something to use against you later.
Right. Then to I won't necessarily say use against you, because that sounds diabolical.
Or to be a distraction because he pulls you in.
I won't even call it distraction. He just uses it as a tool to try to win you over. Okay.
All right.
Right. And you gave him the tool. Why you laughing?
Because DeAndre said not the butterscotch. Yes, the butterscotch, girl. That Werther's butterscotch is so creamy. It'll make you forget he told you a lie.
Yeah. And so you done been on couch, and you done told him that, and you done told him, oh, he's so attentive. He listens. He this. He that. Yeah, that's his job to do that. Because he's trying to catch.
Well, we have that person that we know is dealing with that whole domestic violence situation that is very, very intense, and he got in by being he played Uncle Daddy very well. He did Uncle Daddy very
because she was letting him know, I need somebody to help me with my children. Blah 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 blah. You're like, oh, that's what you need.
And he did it, and then turn around and want to beat somebody.
Exactly. And then you fall for it because you're like, oh, he's so caring, he's so considerate, Negro monster. You know what I mean? And that's what you just let in the house, because you didn't go no further than what you gave him.
Okay. And, right, you gave him that.
You gave him that,
and then he used it.
He used it, and then, you fell for it.
Right, and then you don't go and learn and get more information, because that becomes the thing.
Okay. And okay, sisters.
You need to speak up.
Okay, I'm trying to say, because I told somebody this today. I'm not going to necessarily call my sisters thirsty. But I am saying they starving. Sometimes they're starving for attention.
They're a little parched.
They're starving for attention. A lot of them, because a lot of sisters, okay, real talk, they want husbands or they want men in their life. And, and sometimes, okay, let's just keep this real. And no judgment from me. God, Allah, your judge. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But some women would take a lot of unnecessary stuff because they just want to be. They just want somebody.
Okay.
So they would take less in a situation, and they ain't got nothing to do with that. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I ain't judging you. I ain't kicking you. I'm not doing any of that. So I want everybody to know this from me to you, sisters. Hassan ain't doing that to you. But I am saying what happens when you are caught in that position. Some men, not all men, but some men would take advantage of that, because hurt people hurt people. So what's going to happen is he's going to look for a way to get in, and exploit whatever it is that he's going to do. And then you're going to come out of this thing damaged even more than you've already been damaged. If that makes any sense. So this is what I'm saying. When you give him, and I'm not sitting there saying you got to be hyper vigilant, you got to be this, you got to be, I'm just saying take your daggone time. See, I follow the rule there, right? I'm just saying take your time. And when you see this dude is not right, call it for what it is, that he is not right. Something is wrong, but pay attention. Make him come out with something.
And don't look for an explanation for it, because what women will do is say, well, I don't know what it means, so maybe I shouldn't, I want to give him a chance, and I'm just not going to put too much into it. But then you don't ask for any clarity.
Right.
Because actually not getting information allows you to be able to remain in this interaction, which is what you really want. So you choose to stay ignorant.
Right. And ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is not bliss. So in this situation, you're giving him information. One, you're giving him information. Two, you don't get information from him. Then when you get the manifestation of his foolishness, you ignore it. You ignore it. And so then you come back, then you get into this whole thing, dudes are dirty, brothers are dirty, all this old type of stuff here.
Go ahead. I want you to finish your point, but I have a question.
I'm finished.
Okay, because sometimes, though, it's not that the man is dirty. What should a woman do when he's a nice guy, but his A lifestyle doesn't fit with your D lifestyle? He's not a bad guy, but you just have some things that come with each of you that don't work together.
I think people need to have a determination between, like I said, I had a conversation today about the same thing.
You had a lot of conversations today.
Yeah, today's been an eye-opening day, to be honest with you. But between nice and kind, every sister said they want a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he be nice, but he's incompetent. He ain't got sense. God gave a rock. You see what I'm saying? But he's nice.
Okay.
Right? Or is he kind? Because he can be nice and not be kind.
Okay.
He can have good manners. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
He can have good, but he's not kind. He's mean as hell. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. He know all the niceties. And all, how we say nice, nasty.
Mm-hmm. He
know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's not kind. So do you really want a nice guy or a kind guy?
Okay.
So
go ahead.
So when you start making that determination, I don't really want this guy to be nice. I want him to be kind. I want him to be gentle. I want him to be compassionate. I want him to be merciful. I want him to be patient. I want him to have some type of peace in it. I want him to,
because he could say the right things, but he can be stingy.
Right.
He could say the right things. He could call you baby. He could say all of those things, but then he
can take you out to dinner,
but then
because he want to eat.
But then he won't give you gas money for your car.
For your car. You see what I'm saying?
Because he's stingy.
Because he's not kind.
Okay.
So we have to start making those determinations between nice and kind. Now, when you find that guy who's nice, okay, check and find out if he's kind.
Okay, so ladies need to look for character and think very specific things in behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what if he's nice and kind, but again, he has a value that doesn't align with yours? And I'll be a little bit more clear. He's a great guy, right? But he has awful spending habits, but she may be someone who's quite frugal.
I mean, that's that. She has to make a determination if she can deal with that or not.
Okay.
That's something else. If he got bad spending habits,
mm-hmm.
okay, maybe maybe he don't know how to budget. maybe he come up through a lifestyle that money was scarce, resources were scarce, clothes were scarce, and he just got into the habit when he got some money, spending it.
But that's where she needs to ask some questions though, and to find
out, to see what's his spending habits are, and if he really believes that he can curtail that.
Oh, because he may not want to.
He may not want to, or he may
want
to, or he may not even know how.
Right.
He may think he saved up $500, and he's like, man, I'll save some money. You see what I'm saying?
To me, $500 is not a lot of money.
It's not going to do nothing, for some people. But he may think that that's okay. So he may not have other aspirations. She needs to find out if that's a value for her.
Okay.
So she needs to find out what's her value, be in touch with her values, and see it. And he the same with her.
Okay. All right. Now, this is going to be my last question.
Okay. Then I get out the hot seat.
You feel like you're in the hot seat?
Nah, just,
you helping the ladies out.
I hope ain't nobody mad at me, though.
I'm going to tell you the truth. Do you care?
Not really.
Exactly.
But I do care. No, I'm kind. I'm nice and I'm kind. So I do care.
But we get so much.
Don't take it too far.
Right. We get so much feedback about how someone didn't like this or what they think about that. We do have to kind of we get some thick skin about what people think.
Right. I mean, because, and I want to say this before you go into your next question. I have no malice about what it is that I'm saying. First and foremost, I want to be clear. There's no malice in me. I don't want to look down on nobody, man or woman, brother or sister, or whatever, Muslim, non-Muslim, or whatever the case may be. That's not my objective here. My objective in this situation is to tell the truth on how I understand it, what my study and what my research and what my opinion comes to be at this point, to help in the best possible way that I can. Now, if the delivery is not for you, go up the street, right? But if it is, just know that I come from a good place.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. We appreciate
Disclaimer.
We appreciate that. All right. What is the number one mistake? The thing that you see, it's like, ladies, come on, that women do.
In what capacity?
And with their husbands. With their husbands.
I don't, that's loaded.
Okay, well,
that's loaded.
It is. So give me a common recurring error that you see with women.
I mean, I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say what I see, what happens in relationships.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Not just women, because I really do believe men do the same thing. Okay. Selfish as hell.
Selfish as hell. Okay.
They selfish as hell. They okay. They think of it. They think they're not being selfish, but they really are. And here's my example.
Okay.
I'm doing for you. I'm doing for you. I'm doing for you. I'm doing for you. Okay, but then do what I asked you to do. Oh, I don't know if I can do that. Right? You give me what you want me to have, but you're not giving me what I'm asking for.
Okay.
I think that's a common thread in most relationships. People are not giving each other what they're actually asking for.
Okay, so I'm asking for apples, but you
keep coming on bringing me apricots.
Okay, and I'm allergic to them.
Okay, I don't even like them. You know what I mean? But it's I'm not even allergic to them. I don't really like them. I eat them, but I don't like them. Right? But then I ask for an apple, and then I don't find out what kind of apple. Cause the variety of apples out there. You see what I'm saying?
Y'all like the green apples.
They like the green apples. I don't like green apples.
That's right. They like the big one likes green. You like red.
I like the red ones, right? I will eat a golden delicious though. right? But the greens are just too tart for me. But it's still an apple. You'll say, well, I brought apples home, but it's not the apple I want.
Okay, because I didn't buy apples this time, but I got you your prunes.
Right. I'm gonna tell them my business. You know what I mean? You know?
Y'all know prunes are hot.
I love them. I love dried prunes, dates.
They're
I
like
love
$5
I
for
love
the
them.
generic.
I love them.
Hot.
I love them. But
You know how many?
But we ain't here to talk about that. These are all off the subject. All off the subject. So
that's because I care about you. So I buy your prunes.
But I asked for them.
You did, and I got them.
Right. But you didn't come home with, you know, something else. Dried, like I say, dried apricots or dried pineapples. You didn't come home with that.
No.
Now, you could have said, well, they good for you. But I ain't asked for that.
Right, because you get frustrated when I do that.
Right.
When I give you something and I say but it's good for you, baby.
Right. Like when you was posting about the salad the other night.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't want a salad. Give me what I asked for. I wanted the fish sandwich. But you gave me the salad. I still ate the salad.
I put fish on top of it, though.
But I wanted a fish sandwich.
You wanted one of my fish subs.
Right. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. And you gave me a salad. And I didn't want a salad. But that's what you wanted me to have. That was about you. And that's what I'm saying.
Baby, I forgot to get the sub roll.
But you didn't say that. You know, it would have been better if you would have communicated that. You say, you know, I didn't get the rolls, right? And so then I could have said, oh, okay, now I'm not taking it as you just trying to give me what you want me to have.
Okay.
Versus, okay, here's the mistake. Here's what happened. And communicated that mistake. And, oh, okay, mashallah. We make it happen different. Let me enjoy this because you had a lot on your plate that day. You really had a lot on your plate that day before you went to the store, right?
Yeah, because you covered the session for me.
Well, so I go
to because I didn't even have time to get out of the house.
Right. So that would have been understandable. But see, you didn't. Now that's another part of the selfishness that I'm talking about, because most people hold information. They don't tell people what it is, what they need to know, so they can be in a good spot either.
Like last night when I found that money, and I went and I told you that I found the money.
Right.
But I also told you why I told you I found the money.
Right.
Because I know that I'll forget about the money.
Right.
And I wanted
which she had forgot about that money, and I didn't even know that the money was there.
Y'all, right. I gotta keep a stash.
You know,
I gotta keep a stash. But I hid my stash from myself, and so I went ahead and I told him about it because I wanted him to remember. But then he wanted to focus in on all he wanted to know was two things: how much is it, and two, why you didn't tell me?
Why didn't you tell me the first time? You know what I mean? Why didn't you tell me the first time? And so, I mean, I'm just going to keep it real. I'm simple. That's simple, you know. But anyway, what I'm saying is leading into the whole aspect of selfishness in a relationship. So what a woman can do is share, you know. What a man can do is also share and give each other share power. In that instance, when I was in college, when I was in grad school, one of the things that a professor told me once, that knowledge is power. Mm-hmm. And people hold on to knowledge because if they hold on to knowledge, they're actually holding on to power.
Because
I know something that you don't know.
But it does put you in what would feel like a very weakened state.
Right. If you don't know, and everybody, and that person knows all the things, everything, knows this, knows that, and they're not telling you anything, it makes for a bad
That's
dynamic.
One of the things that you can't stand.
I can't stand that.
Because his belief is that there are two people in this marriage, and generally speaking, for the most part, we should share mutual information about our marriage and our family.
Exactly.
The only exception he will make is when baby girl tells things to her mother, that he'll make that exception because she'll share things with me that she's not gonna tell him.
Right, and it's not for me. And if she tells me, you know, unless if she tells me something, then, you know, I had to really just hold that so I can know I don't ask for all the details of it. You know, it's like, look, this is the issue right here. You know, watch this, or whatever the case may be. So I know at least this is what I need to watch out for because this is an issue.
And we leave
right?
it at that.
And then you can leave it at that, right? But anything other than that, a lot of times, you know, you need to let me know because I don't want anybody outside of my family telling me nothing that's going on inside my family.
Oh, he can't stand.
Oh God, man. You know, but anyway, we done veered off again. So I want to come back to what we were saying, right? Part of the issue is selfishness. And selfishness is across the board on a lot of different things. Any comments?
That's a lot of comments.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. I ain't heard no comments. I apologize. But yeah, you know, they mad at me.
I'm gonna ask you again, if they are mad at you, do you care? See?
But I love you though. I love you though.
He doesn't care.
I mean, I do care.
He cares to the extent where he cares that he doesn't want to offend anyone.
Right.
But he doesn't care about someone disagreeing with his truth.
True. Right.
And that's mutual for each of us.
Right. I mean, if you disagree, you have a right to disagree. You know,
and we're okay.
And I'm okay with that. You know,
we may even learn something from
exactly. You know, you grown, and I can't tell you what to think. I can just give you my truth, and hopefully you can work with that. And hopefully, if you give me your truth, and I can, man, that makes a lot of sense. I've done that plenty of times, man. That made a lot of sense, though. That person was kind of right, though, on that. And I incorporated it into what I think is, because I'm going to follow the truth wherever it goes.
Okay. So we hope that will be helpful, ladies. You think I need to go back and listen to this myself? I need some tune-ups?
Nah, baby, you got me live and in color, so you're going to be okay. You know, you want me to sing for you?
No, don't sing. You know what? Go ahead, sing to me.
That's okay. You know, somebody going to like, hey, this is Hassanati and that Clay couple after dark, right? So this is late at night. I know y'all got to get up and go to work in the morning. So what we're going to do is we're going to sign off here. If you want to follow us, and thank you for the comments. We're going to get back to them and answer any questions that's in there. Any comments, please leave them. Hit us up at #ThatClayCouple. Follow us on Facebook. What else? Instagram.
And you can always find us at That Clay Couple or www.thatclaycouple.com. Thank you so much. DeAndre, you talking about, I hope you do this nightly.
I don't know about nightly.
I don't know about nightly because nightly we're working.
Right.
So to do this nightly, it would literally be this time. People, what they'll think about is when we say we have clients on 5 continents, which is true. Mm-hmm. So because of that, there are differences in time zones. Right. You know, we just had a session tonight at 9:00 because this family is on the West Coast. So that means we don't finish until 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. And my first my day begins tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Right.
with the About Islam.
With About Islam. Right.
So, you know, our schedule. No, we ain't doing this night.
No, maybe we try to get to where we can do it weekly. Maybe, you know, and that's catching us on a good day. So, hey, with that, we're going to close out. Hey, good night, everybody.
Thank you.